In this movie, I'll show you how to combine multiple styles, and I'll also show you how to design styles specifically with the intention of combining them. And so the first thing I'm going to do here is confirm that the back layer is selected. And in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and lock down that type layer for now. And then I'll grab my rectangle tool and I'll just draw a rectangle down here someplace. Doesn't really matter where. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it. And I'll press Shift X in order to swap the fill and the stroke, because I need a fill, I don't want a stroke, and I'll just go ahead and change the fill up here in the control panel to some shade of red. Really doesn't matter. All right, now what I want you to notice is these two default styles right here that don't have any fill or stroke associated with them. And we know that's the case because we can see this little none swatch right there. And one of them's called Drop Shadow, and the other's called Outer Glow. And notice when you hover over them, you're going to see some message about how you can Alt or Option click to add to the existing style. So if I were to click on this guy, I would just replace the fill with white and the stroke with black. Of course, that's not what I want. So instead, what I'll do is I'll Alt or Option click on Drop Shadow. And so any of these guys that have little none icons, they are designed to be added to other effects. So I'll just go ahead and Alt or Option click. And notice this time I kept my red fill and I added a drop shadow in the background. Now, as you can see, that gives me a directional shadow. If I want to create an omnidirectional shadow that goes all the way around the shape, then I would undo that last effect and I would Alt or Option click on the Outer Glow 5-point effect right there, which, as you can see, adds a dark glow, which results in a shadow. And by the way, if you click on a library icon, you'll see a couple of libraries with the word additive in them. That indicates that these libraries offer styles that are designed to be added to other styles. In any event, I'll let you look into those. But what I really want to do is show you how to design your own so-called additive style. And so I'll press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac to get rid of that rectangle. And I'll click right there in order to select that line. And in case you're having problems finding it, what you want to do, I'll just go ahead and press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac to deselect. What you want to do is keep an eye out for the arrow cursor that has a little square next to it. When you see the square, you know you're hovering over the real line itself, at which point go ahead and click. All right, now what we need to make sure of when we're creating these kinds of styles is they don't overlap with other style attributes. And so I'm going to switch over to my Appearance panel, and let's say I want to isolate just the twist effect. I go ahead and click on the spinning line style to assign it, and then I'll grab my stroke right there and I'll click on the trash icon in the bottom right corner of the panel to get rid of it. And then I'll select Transform and I'll once again click on the trash icon to get rid of it. So now all we have is a twist effect, quite literally twisting in the wind because there's nothing to attach it to. That's absolutely great. That means we can save its settings because it still has settings after all. If I click on the word twist, we have an angle of 100 degrees, which is something I want to preserve. And to do that, all you need to do is Alt or Option click on a little page icon at the bottom of the Graphic Styles panel, and I'll call this guy Twist Only, and then press the Enter key or the Return key on a Mac to save that style. Now I'll click on Waving Lines so that I can gain access to my zigzag style. I'll select Transform. Be very careful here. Click on the trash can. Don't click on a little page icon because you do not want to duplicate the transform effect. That could create problems. And when I say create problems, it could create something that's too difficult for Illustrator to imagine. And when Illustrator can't compute, it crashes. So go ahead and drop down to the little trash can icon, click on it, grab the stroke right there, and click on the trash icon to get rid of it, and then Alt or Option click on a little page icon at the bottom of the Graphic Styles panel, and let's call this guy Zigzag as one word, because it should be one word only, and then press the Enter or Return key. And notice that both these styles have little none icons, indicating, of course, that they do not convey fill or stroke attributes. All right, now click on Vibrating Lines in order to apply it, then grab Transform. Be really super careful to click on the trash icon because this one you can really blow up if you duplicate the transform effect. Because think about it. You're taking 89 copies, so 90 lines altogether, and then you're making 89 copies of them. That is just too many copies to start roughing up. Now grab the stroke and click on the trash icon to get rid of it, and then go ahead and Alt or Option click on a little page icon and call this guy Roughen Only. And then I'll click OK. All right, now I need to preserve the stroke with the transform and only the transform. And so I'll bring back any one of these guys, doesn't matter, spinning lines is fine. And then I'll click on twist this time, click on the trash icon to get rid of it. So we're transforming the strokes and doing nothing more. And now Alt or Option click once again on a little page icon and call this guy 89 copies. So you remember not to combine it with itself, and then click OK to create that style. All right, now drum roll, please. We are going to do a combine at this point. So with this line selected, and we're going to be really careful here, we're going to try out a combine in this order. I want you to start, just because I know this can be dangerous. Do not, for example, start with roughen and then apply zigzag. That, in my experience, is the best way to crash Illustrator that I know of. Instead, do this. Hover over zigzag only if you're following along with me, if you dare. And you might want to just go ahead and save this file really quick if you care about it. Then try this out. Now, this I've never had crash. If you do it according to my exact instructions, I want you to hover your cursor over zigzag only and then press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and click on it in order to successfully combine that effect. And notice we're first transforming and then zigzagging this path that includes this 2-point stroke. Now what I want you to do is hover over roughen only and then press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and click on it in order to combine roughen after zigzag. So it should be transform, zigzag, roughen. If roughen comes first, my experience is that Illustrator goes down. And that is how you combine multiple styles, not only how you design styles that are meant to be combined here inside Illustrator.